Everybody, real quick, welcome on up. Take heed to the message. Hey, lady.
Hello, everybody. How
I
y'all
cannot
doing?
believe you're up here. I'm so excited.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, tell your husband I'm not going to mishandle his wife. Tell him I don't want no smoke. I don't want no smoke. I don't want him coming, getting on no plane, coming tracking me down. I don't want no smoke. Look, let me tell you something, Take Heed. When I was married once upon a time, right?
Okay.
So I'm not one. Okay, so listen. So my wife at the time, right? So was a high school teacher, and she was working for this principal who was a absolute brute. So men, we'll let you, if you're a career lady, we'll let you, we'll listen to you vent. We'll listen to what you go through, because we know in real life, whatever you're going through with your boss on the job, if that was real life, that nonsense will get cut real quick. But because it's your boss, it's your job, work dynamics is a little bit different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll walk easy on that a little bit. But one day, this sister came home crying. Uh-oh. Take heed. Take heed. Let me tell you something. As many clashes as I had throughout that marriage, the one thing that I never did was make her cry. And I'll be goddamn if another dude, I don't care who he is, what he is, do that. So she came home and she was a wreck about how he dealt with her on the job. Yeah, that was needless to say. The very next day was the last day on her job.
Oh, wow.
Because, I got this, take heed, I got this saying. I tell people all the time, there are people who walk around who think they are the big bad wolf right until they meet the big bad wolf.
Facts.
And so the quickest way to meet a big bad wolf is to meddle with somebody's wife. That's kind of built like me. So I suspect your husband is built a little bit like me. So tell him, no smoke today, sir. Sit down. You don't need to sharpen your blades. None of that. We good over here. We're comfortable.
No, he's relaxing now. He got his food served to him, so he's relaxing right now.
Oh, he relaxing
right now. Don't stay too long.
Okay, I want him side-eyeing me. I'm not gonna keep you long, KK, but I appreciate you coming up. So when I was explaining what we're gonna be doing, are you okay with that?
I'm fine with it. It's okay.
Okay. Well, so let me get to it. I want to pull up the clip, okay? So what we're going to do with the clip, because I haven't seen it in its entirety.
I did not either. Yeah.
So I think we're going to go to its entirety. So I think what you and I will do, we'll look at what's actually happening in the clip, but not necessarily during the clip give our analysis, but just kind of looking at the back and forth, whatever, and then we'll go into our different perspectives on this one. All right. So yeah, just a reminder, this is not a smoke or a clapback. This is gonna be I have a different assessment than what Take Heed had about this exchange, and that's fair. And I want you to hear my assessment and see what you think. Okay. All right, here we go. R&B and Take Heed. Here we go. We got Mona D in the building. Hey, Mona, coming on over here. Who else we got over here? Miss Mo in the building. How you doing? That part. Just to complain. So we got a few in the building. All right, let's get to it.
30 days we've been married. You haven't changed nothing into my name. You haven't put the house in my name. You haven't put the insurance in my name. And then you got everybody else is on as a beneficiary.
I can't.
No,
you cannot be sick.
What
you just say?
You got both of them.
What you just say? Say that one more time. Say that again.
You heard what I said.
Talk about my mama again.
No, disabled her.
I want everybody to hear this.
She got somebody there to take care of her.
This who I married. This who I married 30 days ago.
So Take Heed. Before I even get into the context of what they're talking about, all of this, the fact that this is here is bothersome to me. Because there is this, what prompted this man to, he's having a very serious discussion, you know what I mean, with his wife. Yes, his alarm bells are up, and I'm going to tell you this, I'm not sure if I think his alarm bell should be up, but his alarm bells are up, and the first thing he thought about is recording his wife and then posted it on social media.
Okay.
That entire process, we're not even talking about the context of the situation yet. Just that narrative right there. And I'm not trying to throw some shade at the brother, but this is what we are accustomed to seeing women do. When they get out of control, when they get upset, overly emotional, they want to embarrass, they're trying to, all of that. What was this for? What was his thought process? Which, we don't know. We don't have the brother, sitting here to ask him all of that. But my thinking is this, she's coming to you with this problem, and your thought process is to record and post. Who cares if if she's right or he's right, or she's on some demon time or whatever? Why is that your first thought? Record and post. This is a wife here. This ain't no little girlfriend. So right off the bat, I'm looking at this situation, even before I got a full understanding of what's going on. I got a full understanding that we got an individual who's supposed to be the covering who doesn't understand his job and his role. His job and his role for me isn't to sit there and try to figure out a way to garner sympathy, support, and embarrass. That's what I saw before we even got into the crux of the video. And I was taken aback just from that perspective. When I saw it on your show, when you played on your show, all we could hear is the audio.
Only the audio. Yeah.
Only the audio. We don't see the visual, visual of this, which I think for me puts into a different perspective, because when I was listening to it on your show, I thought she was recording this. Okay. Because I have we're predisposed to think certain people do certain things. Like, let me give you an example. Remember the DC back years ago, the DC sniper shooting?
I remember.
Everybody in the country thought that was a white boy.
True.
Because
that's telling the truth.
Because that's their MO. When it came out that those were two metilated brothers doing that crap, it shook the black community, because that's not what we do. So to tie that to that, so that was when I actually saw it, and a shout out to Almanize, because she sent it to me, because I was like, I didn't know where to find it at. I was like, I don't even know where to find it at. So shout out to Almanize for sending it to me. But yeah, my first thought was that this brother is a little off.
So you trying to say that he's a son husband?
I don't know. I don't have enough information.
Okay, all right.
So for a man to do something off doesn't necessarily make him a son husband.
Okay.
But this initial behavior is off to me. I'm not even getting into right now if it's right or wrong. I'm just looking at the interaction and the dynamic of the interaction.
Okay.
What do you think about that assessment or that thought?
No, I like where you're coming from, but I'm gonna share something with you. On my channel, right? Because I'm a female, I try not to critique the brothers. I try to just come for the sisters, because we got a lot of kings in this social media. that corrects the brothers, and you are one of them. You are one of the kings I put at how you say this. I want to make sure I say this right. You are one of the kings that I put up there. Like this is one that does the correction, because Real Bravado, I heard you many times on your channel and you go in. So I got to give it to you, Mr. He Said, you know what I'm saying? Sir Hill Speaks and the Black Man Unfiltered. There's a lot of brothers who go in on the brothers. So my task in social media is to go after my sisters. Like, this is the correction. I don't care if you're mad about it, but this is what it is. Because my correction was towards the wife. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel what you're saying, because when I first saw the video, I knew he was a son husband because he filmed her. This is only what women do. Yeah. And this is what I tell women on my channel, like, be careful who you marry. Because if this man that you've been with, there was no man around, it was only his mama, what's going to happen is there's going to be two women in this marriage. It will not be one woman and one man. There's going to be two women, two wives in this marriage, if he has never been governed by a king before. Right. Let me tell you something, Take Heed. And over the weekend, I've been going back through my catalog, and I've been replaying shows that I did before people started knowing who I was. And there's a show, and I'm glad you mentioned it. There's a show that I did, and I can't remember the name of it, but I'll know it when I see it. But in the stream, I talk specifically to women about why, when you interacting with a male, especially when there's conflict, why that conflict seems off to you. And the reason, and the thing that I pointed out and I went through in great detail and talked about, is when you are interacting with a male and you having conflict, there's nothing wrong with conflict between a man and his woman. That's natural. It's going to happen. But a lot of times, a lot of women, the conflict escalates, and a lot of times the women is confused. And another reason why the women will push the guy to their limit is because spiritually and emotionally, the women don't know that they're actually interacting with a female spirit. See, and this is the same thing that I say. I said, you're acting with a female spirit. The guys don't know, and I have to remind our sisters a lot. And sorry to kind of peel back the onion on a personal conversation with Almond. We kind of went back and forth a little bit about this. And I told her, I said, a lot of times the guys don't know. They don't know that that's how they are, because they were all raised by their mothers. And there's this thought process that when a male gets to a certain age, then he should automatically know that he's deficient. And I'm going to tell you, Take Heed, I did not know I was here. I've said on multiple streams, I didn't meet my father until I was 30. So we're talking 15 years ago. I didn't meet my father or his father until I was 30. I remember the very first conflict that I had with my grandfather. He went berserk on me, Take Heed. And he hit me so low that I actually didn't talk to him for 6 months, because we were in a disagreement about something, and what flew out of his mouth cut me so bad. It could have re-severed that relationship if it wasn't for the fact that I'm an analytical brother. You know what I mean? That I take things, I might not like what I hear or whatever. I will always replay the conversation and then try to balance that out against what my actions were. But the man told me, he literally, he goes, I can't talk to you because you act too much like a woman. Okay. You know how if that man was not my grandfather, Take Heed, I would have decked him. I understand. I would have decked him. But that was the first time
I didn't talk to him for 6 months.
Mm.
But it took me 6 months to understand what he was saying to me,
Right.
Because I kept going, because my anger was about, how dare you attack how I behave when I was raised by my grandmother. It took me 6 months of saying that to myself to understand I'm acting that way because I was raised by my grandmother, and not take that as something like he was personally attacking me. My grandfather's an older man. He doesn't have this woke knowledge and all this, that, and the third. Everything is raw, rigid, and rusty when they come. And when you are a man of our generation, take heed, that has not interacted with that raw, rusty, unfiltered way of males speaking and interacting with one another, it can come across like they're trying to destroy you, but that's not it. It's just their way. It's how they shape. So to your point, when you're listening at this brother, to your point, into the stream that I did a few months ago, and to what I was trying to explain to Almond last night, which I wasn't. Sometimes I don't have the best way of explaining things. You got 2 generations of men out here, Takey, who don't know what they don't know.
You know what? You are so correct, because I'm gonna share something with you. The men that I have met before my husband, if I got in an argument with them, right, and I had that alpha female, even though alpha does not exist, that alpha female, that doesn't exist, but I had that alpha female spirit. So when I argued with these men that I had dated from my past, it was like Clash of the Titans, because I'm an alpha female and then they have their mother tendencies. So we're clashing. Nobody is using logic and saying, wait a minute, we need to calm down. So when I met my husband, that was like a whole new atmosphere that I have never. So when me and him argued, it was like, no, you won't do this to me. You know what I'm saying? You will respect me. So my husband, like,
oh, what? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I did not drop Take Heed. I think she lost her connection. Oh man, we were starting to warm up in here. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on.
Sorry.
That's sorry. Okay.
I don't know what happened.
I was telling the audience, I said, the devil is amiss, because we starting to warm this pot of greens up, or we starting to warm this pot of greens up, and here comes the devil.
So now what I was saying was that he used logic to deal with me. So it made me humble. Like he had to go through the breaking, the burning, and the fire, and it made me humble. That I had to, and I know women gonna hate when I say this, but I had to bow down, because the way my husband was raised, he was raised under a king for many years, so he knows how to handle situations. So you can't make my husband get out of character. It'll take him a lot. He doesn't scream or holler. He won't go into it with you. He'll just tell you what it is and walk away. Just like that. It'll tell you what it is and walk away. And you got to deal with that on your own. And I always love that about him.
And that's what my grandfather did to me.
Oh, okay.
He told me what he thought and he walked away.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something. It took years, more years of going around my grandfather, spending time with him, hanging with my dad, I am so glad that when my father reached out to me after 30 years, I am so glad that I did not do what I had thought I was going to do, which was straight up cuss him out, tell him where to jump off at. And let me tell you something, and this is a little bit of a sidetrack for guys, if your fathers have not been around most of your life, and I know you think you know, but until you sit down and talk to that man, you don't know. and I found out a whole bunch of stuff about my father, about the fact that he was denied access, the fact that he showed up on multiple occasions and was turned away, that there were things that happened along the way. And I'm glad when he finally reached out at that age, even though the raising was done, but there were still things that I could have, and still to this day, grabbed from him and my grandfather. And I'm fortunate that my grandfather is 86, still around. And my grandfather, about a year ago, said something to me. I guess this was his way of saying I'm proud. He said he come to me. We were over his house, and we were just talking trash. Me and my grandfather, we were just talking trash. And then he says to me, he goes, "I'm glad that I don't have to worry about you anymore."
Oh.
That let me know that in a very short amount of time, I absorbed what I needed to absorb. I applied the things that I found valuable, and he looks at me like he looks at his sons now, as a full 10 toes down man.
Oh.
And that could only have happened because I even though it took me 6 months to go back, you know what I mean? I decided to go, maybe he's seeing something that I don't see. And maybe there's a deficiency, because a lot of us don't know that the way we were raised and the way we were taught and everything like that, we don't know that that's deficiencies. And we don't know that that's not normal. It took me 30 years to get that wake-up call, and then another 6 months to somewhat accept. And I'm telling you, take heed, I didn't just fall in line. I said it took some years. I didn't really start coming into understanding until I was about 37.
Okay.
It took a while. It took a while, because I still internally rebelled against the things that he was saying to me. Now, I didn't rebel against him directly. I just dismissed it. And then something would happen in my life, and I'd be like, that's what he was talking about.
Okay.
I was able to start seeing things a little bit easier, and then I was able to start accepting all of the stuff. And then I started going back and asking questions. But a lot of us don't have that point. Or if the guys get confronted by an elder statesman, their grandfather or their father, most of us are going to flat out reject him, period. So we won't get that. So sometimes I talk to my sisters. I tell them all the time, you may have to offer, and I know this is not fair to you, but this is where we're at. You're going to have to offer maybe an uncomfortable level of grace, because there's so much missing. And the guys are going to have to offer, take heed. We got in the manosphere, and I know we're a little bit off track, but we'll get back. We're in the manosphere. We got this whole movement of not to date a single mother. Don't date a single mother. Don't date a single mother. And then I tell them, I said, well, if you look at the goddamn numbers, if you are a black man and you want a black woman, and 80% of our women are fucking single mothers, guess what's there to date?
Single mothers.
And this notion that other women, a race of women, are coming in and snatching up these brothers, that's not entirely true either. The women are coming in at a slightly higher rate than the men are for our women, but it's negligible. They're not coming in. If 33% of our men are married and only 27%, that means only 4% of our black men are married outside of their race. And then when you 2 million more black women, that number's damn near even. Ain't nobody coming in picking us up. All we got is to pick from each other. So I look at things from a very practical standpoint. Now, I'm not saying pick a single mother who won't come and get on your program, or who won't give you grace. I'm not saying pick a woman that's wilding out here. I ain't gonna never tell nobody accept no garbage like that. But if you are a black man and you want a black woman, I'm telling you right now, in this country, you're going to be with a single mother. That's just the way the numbers don't make it any other way. And I know a lot of my guys, they get mad at me for saying that, but I always tell them, look at the, if we're talking about we're data-driven men, look at the data. Look at the data. I'm not saying go out and get you a baby mama who got 6, 7 kids by 5, 6, 7 men. I'm not saying do that. You know what I mean? But the realities of the situation, if you want a black woman, guess what you're going to get in this country?
It's true, because we weren't, the thing is that when I was younger, we were taught, you're a strong black woman. You could do anything you want to do. You can raise your children by yourself. You don't need no man. And these are the things that I was taught when I was young. So when I was a teen mother, right? My mother took me and was like, you're going to be able to raise this baby on your own. You're going to be fine. All this nonsense. And it took me till I got in my 20s, my early 20s, that this is not what it is. Why do I have to be raising this baby by myself? Because I made foolish choices. You know what I'm saying? And listening to the women in my family and finding out later, I'm going to share something with you. People always told me when I dated other men before I even met my king, you are a good woman. You have a kind heart, but you are alpha female. And I never understood that. Never understood that until I met my king. And my king told me it's your mouth, because remember, my king is from Nigeria, so he doesn't know anything about an alpha female. So he told me it's your mouth. Your mouth give me poise, but I'm going to correct your mouth. And this is when we were dating. I was like, what are you talking about? He going to correct my mouth. He was
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, he used to tell me when we were dating, I'm going to correct your mouth. And I used to be like, he ain't doing nothing. But once we got married and I got the ring on my finger, like I'm telling you, the real Bravado, listen to me real good. It was like war was started. War was started because now I belong to him. I carry his last name. So war was ready. And I was ready too, thinking I was. Okay. So I put on my armor ready for war. He put on his armor, but he got secret weapons behind his back I could not see. And he was like, I'm going to break her because this is not going to work. So for 2 years, strong battle. I'm telling you, RBN, strong battle, honey. 2 years until one day I sat on the bed. We got into a heated argument, and it was about some money I took from our joint account.
Oh,
Don't go well. I shouldn't have took that money. I sat on the end of the bed. I'm arguing with him. It's my money. I could do whatever I want to do. Talking just like my mama. I could do whatever I want to do, this and that. And my husband looked at me. He said, you will not do whatever you want to do. You will not. And just with a calm voice, you will not do whatever you want to do. And then I sat on the bed and I said, my mind was like, this is a good man. You going to mess it up. He going to leave you with these children. You going to mess it up.
So them angels can talk to you now.
Listen, honey, listen.
They can talk to you now.
Listen, and I had a revelation that day, and then my voice said to me, well, listen, you gonna mess this up, and you gonna be alone with these kids. He gonna take care of his children, but you gonna be alone. Because my husband is a good man. He was going to take care of his kids anyway. So now I looked at him and I said to him, I'm sorry. Just like that. And he turned around real fast. He looked at me. He said, what you say? I said, I'm sorry. And then he said to me, so it sounds like you ready to follow. And I told him, I said, yes, I'm ready to follow. And he said to me, so we not going to have no more problems. I said, no. And he told me, you're going to replace that money, right? I said, yes. And that's what I did. And from then on, that was the first 2 years of our marriage. And from then on, I've been following him since. So that was a battle. It was a battle.
Yep. Okay, let's get back on this because there's some piece of this I really want to get to with you. But so for those of you that missing, we only watched about 5 seconds of the clip.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, but my problem is it's necessary. But the brother in here, he's coming wrong already. His setup is wrong. We're not even talking about if this woman is right or wrong, but this brother is wrong. He's the covering. And when I say he's the covering, that means that he's responsible for how things get set up. Now, I'm not saying your man has to know every single component of it, but there are some functionality things. And I said in a previous stream, Take Heed, that a lot of times with Black men, because we're so used to our mothers or grandmothers doing all of our business, we don't know how to execute to the cross T and the dot I. And because we don't cross the T and dot the I, then we leave ourselves open to something that should have been closed to begin with. And that's, I'm foreshadowing my thoughts on that one. So all right, let's finish taking a listen.
No, you cannot be sick. What you just say? You got both of them.
What you just say? Say that one more time. Say it again.
You heard what I said.
Talk about my mama again.
Yo, disabled her.
I want everybody to hear this.
She got somebody there to take care of her.
This who I married. This who I married 30 days ago.
Real quick, take heed. Oh Lord. Real quick, take heed. And you tell me if, I mean, maybe see if you agree with this. She's wilding out. You know they use that term matching energy.
Right.
She's wilding out because he's wilding out. She about that smoke. A woman is about that smoke. So if you come at her wilding out, guess what the first thing she gonna do? In response, she gonna wild out and she gonna stay wilding out.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I'm looking at this from, you know, and of course we're all Monday night quarterbacking this stuff, but he's wilding out off rip. Even though she brought the issue to him, his response was wilding out. And so he was at 10, she took it to 20.
True.
That's why she jumping up, almost wanting to get in his face and all this, that, and the third. That's why she doing what we call the hyena dance with him. She matching his energy.
She is.
Yep.
This who I married 30 days ago.
What's really taking you so long? Like 30 whole days, Deshaun. 30 whole days, and you still haven't put me on nothing? Like nothing.
It takes time to do all that,
it's
right?
like you're not even taking this marriage serious. It's like
you taking it too serious right now.
It's like you still attached to your
hey,
mama,
do you
like a little mama's boy.
Look, check me out. My little mama boy.
A little mama's boy.
She trying to gaslight him.
She is.
She trying to gaslight him. She out of water for that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the beginning of the stream, I said, when I try to figure out a problem, when I try to figure out the core of the problem, I start with the if not for what. It's not perfect, but it'll help you dig down to the core. If not for what? Now, she tried to gaslight him. If not for this brother, you know what I mean, coming at her on a 10 about the issue, she would have been less likely to start trying to sign language his brother and gaslight him.
You know what? I'm gonna share some with you, and I say this all the time. A woman knows her man. She knows what will make him go crazy. She knows what she can say to him to hurt him. Every woman knows this. Yes. And for her to sit up there and say, oh, you just want to be a mama's boy, she know that was going to hurt him. She know that was going to take a stab at him. You understand? Every woman who been with a man she could be with a man for a good maybe 6 months. She knows what will crush his whole being.
Yes. Absolutely. And as a guy, you can't prevent everything, but you don't let yourself open to this by way, you know, and one way you do that is by how you address and handle her. Even when she brings you something that really irks your soul, there's a way that the way you handle her will determine what happens next.
Do you love me or you love the money? Which one what are you here for? What are you here for?
Listen. Like I said,
what you on TikTok or something? What you on?
I'm not interested in.
Are you on TikTok or something? Bruh, you are video recording her. What does you on TikTok or something? No, you can't be trying to take the superior moral high ground about her being on the phone and you up with your phone, straight up recording her, thinking what you're gonna do is to shame and embarrass her. So yeah, let's keep it up. And I remember in your stream, a lot of people. Well, we'll get to it later. Hold on.
Nothing that you talking about right now, because I don't even think you care about me. Because what if you die? What if you die? What's gonna happen to me if you die? Who's gonna take care of me? Who's gonna take care of me? You told me when we got married. I know she ain't gonna do everything. You was gonna make sure I'm taken care of, and now I'm like second guessing.
This is emotional manipulation.
Yeah,
she's doing emotional manipulation because she not crying. She not to the emotional point where she needs to cry. This is the emotional manipulation to try to get her way. You understand?
But it's gonna work though. It's gonna work. It's gonna work.
It's gonna work.
Okay.
You can't be serious right now.
That's not at all, because you don't even love me. The Bible says when a man.
The Bible.
Shoot. She put the Bible.
She said, "Take heed." Did she say the Bible said?
She sure did. She sure did say the Bible says.
Let me explain something to you people out here. Stop putting God in the middle of your foolishness.
It's true.
God does not dwell in foolishness. When there's foolishness afoot, that ain't got nothing. God wasn't nowhere near that. That was all you. God is so great that he's given us free will, and he's given us free will to act a damn fool. So don't nothing about this sister. Nothing about this sister says God. I mean, says holy. I'm sorry. That was just too. That was. You played that part on your stream?
I did. I told them that part.
I don't know how I did. I don't know how I missed that because I watched almost the entire. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I don't mean to go, but that just got me tickled. The Bible says.
How you gonna say that?
That he cleaves to his wife and leave his mother. Like, what is wrong with you?
She's got it all wrong. It's you cleave to one another and forsake your, I know what she's trying to say.
I couldn't tell you the truth. I couldn't even repeat what she said because I was like, I don't know this. I don't know this scripture well. So let me be quiet because when I don't know a scripture well, you'll hear me close my mouth. I ain't gonna sit up there and lie. I can't.
I think it said something like you cleave to one another, but I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, I could be completely wrong because I'm not like the best Bible scholar, but I believe it was the instruction for the woman to cleave to her husband. I actually think that's what it was more about, and I think she's flipping it, but that's neither here nor there. We're not going to get caught up in the minutia of that, so that's neither here nor there. But the fact that she just threw the Bible out, Where was the Bible at when you was trying to gaslight him about his mama and all that good stuff?
That's right.
Ooh, that's funny.
Who are you?
It's not who's are you. Who are you? You
No.
really care about me.
You tripping about some paperwork right now.
If you really cared about me, I would be taken care of. If you really
I'm gonna take care of you. What am I?
Hey, take heed.
Oh my God. I ain't see this part.
hey, listen. Hey, take heed.
Yeah.
So all that spirit that's on her, that's coming from that hair.
Oh snap! Oh, okay. I understand. I'm
going back to your stream this morning.
Lord,
that's them demon hairs.
Listen, I'm gonna start calling them gifts. Y'all gifts now. Y'all gifts to the deity. I'm gonna start calling them gifts.
Ooh, look at her face. I'm gonna blow this up. Look at that girl face. Look at her face. Look at her face. This is a shame.
We just got back off at camp.
No.
And you worry about some paperwork? No. Go sit down. Go sit down.
I'm not a dog. Also, now I'm a dog. So now I'm a dog. Now I'm an animal. You tell me go sit down.
Oh my God, you a headache.
Oh, now I'm an animal.
Like I said,
why did I
am not trying to hear nothing.
Okay?
Until you put me on the insurance, on the deeds, on the cards, on everything. It's no marriage. You might as well go ahead and say there's no marriage.
Why are you?
I don't care what you're talking about.
You must have been talking to your friends or something.
No,
yes,
there's
no way.
There's no way. There's no way I married you.
What? Yeah. Oh, so now you.
Where them tears at? Where them red puffy eyes at? Where they at? Where they at? Take heed. Look at her side eye here.
Oh, Jesus, no.
Where them tears? Where them red puffy eyeballs at? Now take heed. Now you didn't cry the time or two around your man. Is your eyes that clear when you're doing it?
You know when I did cry, let me share with you what my husband used to say. He said, listen, go wipe your face. We still gonna talk about that money missing. That nonsense you did, go wipe your face. We still gonna talk about it.
This brother ain't no joke, is it? Oh, that brother. I like him. I like him, boy. I like him. He said, go wipe
your face. We still gonna talk about it.
I bet you can laugh about it now, but I bet you was hot, boy.
I was hot. No lie. I was hot.
You was Campbell soup, boy. And you like, what the hell?
And you know what? That's when I realized the crying didn't work no more. That's when
you know, and from him being from a different culture too, yeah, they don't play that crap. They're taught well.
But I'm gonna share something with you. Black men are too, that are raised under kings. They won't put up with this nonsense.
Yes, absolutely.
It's just we have so many, single mothers raising young men, and they look like men, but actually they're still boys. That's the problem.
And I said those puffy eyes are real. I had to cancel my stream last night, messing with them. I ain't have you with no puffy eyes, girl. Stop that. I was having a conversation with the sister about some stuff. So,
okay.
Take heed. I can be a little rough. Yeah.
No, I saw you before in action.
Yeah, I can be a little rough. Oh my God, I could be a little rough. Hey, listen, I could be so rough. My co-workers know I'm rough. Look, I got a call. Look, I've been off work for a couple of days. Take heed. I got a call last night from one of the co-workers, about some nonsense that went on at work. Now, I don't know why they bothering me, because I ain't in charge of nothing. But So the supervisor was on last night. So I called the supervisor. I said, let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something. That's how it starts.
Let me tell you something. Don't you ever let such and such happen again. You got this all in the uproar. You got the whole shift like, X, Y, and Z, because you decided to defer your responsibility. You don't allow nobody to come in to defer your responsibility and our shift runs the way it runs. I work in the hospital at night, so you know how that roll.
Oh, yeah. I know.
He was like, he goes, last time I checked, I was the one in charge. I said, well, last time I checked, I'm the one that's getting the phone calls, but you're like a chargeness.
Ooh, that's nasty.
Take heed. Sometimes I gotta be, real. I gotta tell you, at times I gotta be reined in, because I will steamroll you if you let, you know what I mean? When I see some, look, I don't care about, now do it respectfully. When I gotta go talk to a doctor about that I'm not feeling, that's one of the things they go, he ain't scared. Why would you need to be? When you know what I know, when you learn what I've learned, when you've experienced what I've experienced, fear is not something that you fear anymore. You don't fear fear.
I hear you.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's get back to this sister, because I want to get to it.
I guess so. You talking about the paperwork?
Yes, marrying you. You the one that don't care about me. Because somebody that really cared about that person, this would have all been in the works 2 weeks prior to us even getting married.
That's so cap. That's so cap.
Up until we got.
Did you hear what she said? It should have been planned 2 weeks prior to before we get married. Take heed. hold that thought. Okay? Hold that thought right there.
I'm married. Like, after we married and you say I do, now something happened to you, and what if you know your mama don't like me?
It's something for real.
And she gets on every time I come over there.
Why now? Look at you.
Making all of these
Look at you.
when I come in. She shouldn't make no
Look
face.
at you.
She should never
Why
make
are you
face.
acting like
And
this
you
right
look
now?
just like her.
Why are you acting like
Yeah, she look just like her. You look just like your mom. Your mom is very, very.
Yeah, she going in because she think that hurts him. Yeah, you're absolutely right. She going all the way in, take heed about his mama. Now, you know doggone well, you know, black men and their mamas. You got any boys?
I do. I got 2.
Ooh, black boys and their mamas. You can't be crossing that line. That's the way black men are raised now. That's more dangerous than going up against his own woman, which it shouldn't be, but it is. Yeah, and she going there. She ain't pulling no punches, is she?
Not at all, honey.
She pulling out every trick in the arsenal bag.
Very, you know.
Ooh.
You heard me.
What you trying to say? I look like a what?
I'm not saying anything.
I look like a what?
All until you put me on everything, we not married. This is not real.
We not married.
No,
Take the ring off. No, we ain't married. Take the
Until you put me on everything, we not married. This not real. How does that work? And what?
It doesn't work like that.
It don't, sister. It don't work like that. No. You didn't sign the state in the county documents. You didn't had the ceremony. The minister didn't affixed his seal and his signature to them county documents, and he didn't deliver them to the county. Boo, you in this? Sorry, it don't matter. You in this? It's gonna take a month's worth of allowance in a little bit of time to undo this. No. You in there?
ring off then.
No,
take the ring off.
Because that's a promise. And even if
ain't no promise.
You still not getting
you a liar.
This
you
is
a straight
lame.
liar.
And when I get before the judge, I'm gonna let the judge know that
you gonna give my last name back then? You want to give my last name back?
Oh, this okay. They're being children right here. All right, take heed. Let's talk about this. They're being children now. You gonna give me back my last name? You sound like Ike Turner. I want my name. Give my last name. I'm gonna tell the judge. Judge gonna tell you, shut up. I don't want to hear nothing of that.
Oh my God.
People don't understand. I don't know if Team Peterson is here or not, but when you are, and this is gonna lead me into, hey, she's here. Let me this is gonna lead into my assessment of this. Take heed, and where I'm gonna give you a different perspective. So over there on your side, on your channel, so a lot of the chat and a lot of the comments were saying was worried that she was to a degree being a gold digger. That she was so worried and so concerned about the money that she decided 30 days in that she was hyper focused on money and being financially connected to this man in the meaningful way, right? So she was really worried about that. And the chat was just kind of going in about her, talking about they're gonna put something in her tea, what's that? She gonna put something in his tea. They were kind of going in on that, and I understand the perspective. However, here's my take on this. Every piece of this is his fault. She is not at fault for none of it. What she wants, she is 100% correct. You're going to ask me why?
No. I'm just listening.
No, I want you to ask me why.
Oh, okay. Why?
Despite her behavior, despite her spiraling out, the reason why she's 100% correct and he's 100% at fault is because he's the covering. The one thing that I talked about a couple times while we've been up here, take heed, is the fact that most black men of our generation do not know how to complete the task. They don't know how to complete the task. They leave themselves open to foolery because they don't know how to complete the task. About a month ago, I did a stream about a brother who got evicted out of an apartment. He was the primary caretaker for his 9-year-old daughter.
I remember that one.
And he got evicted because he moved in with his girlfriend and he never got on the lease, even though he was the one paying that $3,000 a month. Even after the woman booked up out of there and left, he continued to pay the $3,000 a month. So it wasn't about a financial thing. Then he got on the news crying like he was a victim when he was never lawfully allowed to be there to begin with. So he jeopardized, I don't care what about happened to him, but he jeopardized the stability of that 9-year-old girl. And then the apartment complex dolls and toys and trinkets are everything's to a 8, 9-year-old little girl. They got really good imaginations. They cling to their stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so because he did not complete his task, because he did not complete the business, he did not take care of his business, he left his daughter and himself open. Now, let me talk about this guy specifically and why I'm telling you he's 100% at fault. He did not complete the business of the marriage. A lot of times we don't take marriage seriously at all. We just think it's something to do. It's another level of playing house. That's how we look at it. But we have to understand in our modern society, there are 2 components to your marriage. There's the relationship and then there's the business. The brother never took care of his business. After he proposed to this woman, I'm assuming he proposed to her. After he proposed to her, and she said yes, and then they set a date, and then they started planning. Long before that marriage, the official marriage ceremony happened, he was supposed to take care of the financial business of that marriage, which including understanding her finances, disclosing his, getting insurances ready to get swapped over and switched over, beneficiary documents updated. You don't have to execute them until after the marriage. You can say you got to have them prepared, and she has to know where she stands. A woman's nature is every woman wants to feel secure. Your job, if you're taking on this wife, because you're asking her to forsake whatever she thinks is security for yours. So you need to secure that. He did not. And because he did not, she spiraled out.
Yeah. I'm gonna share this with you. I know that the brother came off wrong. I know that he came off wrong. And like I told y'all, I do not critique the brothers because they have a lot of women in social media that they go ham on the brothers. And yes, that is not the chain of command. You understand? And I have a king that I got to answer to. Like, this is just social media, right? But when I go upstairs, I have a whole lecture of why did I say what I said on social media? Because right now my king is upstairs watching me. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? I have somebody I got to answer to, and I know the chain of command. So they have women already on social media that already go ham on the brothers, but they don't hold our sisters accountable. They will just go ham on the brothers, which we already have a space, the manosphere, who handles the brothers. Now, maybe you'll have some content creators that they will just say, oh, all the brothers are right. And then you have some content creators that will say, nope, all of them ain't right. And we're going to call a spade a spade. So I'm one of those content creators that I will look at the story and I'm looking at you, sis. I'm looking at you because the way you're behaving doesn't make sense. And I tell women all the time, your mouth can save you or break you. A woman's mouth can destroy a nation and also build a nation. You know what I'm saying? You see him taking his time, putting you on everything, right? This is the time where you talk to him. You don't have to get ghetto with him. You don't have to be screaming and crying and all this. You could just say, baby, you didn't put me on the insurance yet. I don't have access to the accounts yet. Can you fix this for me? With a calm voice, with a humble voice. You got to talk to your king properly. I always say this. Talk to him properly. With you talking to him with honey, you're going to get everything that you want. But if you go in there and you acting indignant and you don't know how to speak to this man, you will never get it. Like right now, this whole situation going to go left. That whole situation, if it wasn't a skit, it's going to go left. Because he's going to remember how you talked about his mama. He's going to remember how you said he looked like his mama. You're going to remember how you sat up there and said, this marriage is not real. So all this does not make sense, what she's doing. Yes. And because the problem is both of them are women, okay? Because he has his mama tendencies.
Hold that thought right there. Hold that thought right there.
Money making is my thing because I'm trying to be rich, trying to put away meals.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Here comes the.
Shout out to Eyes for the $2. Oh, I got to do this.
But these last $2.
I ain't saying that. Bye, girl. Shout out to my sexy and strong. How you doing, Terry? It's been a while since of course I've got to show some love. I appreciate you, and of course I got to give you. Yeah, she dropped us down with that nickel, that double nickel. But I'm gonna tell you what my uncle says all the time. Take heed. I'm picking up what you're putting down. So I feel you on that. You ain't got to go. You ain't got to go in on the brothers. That's what you got me for. I'm going in on everybody. But yes, she. Even if this is what I talk about when I say sometimes our women can give, but it takes a mature woman to give maybe an unprecedented level of grace that you're not accustomed to. She could have, like you said, she could have changed the narrative because she's his helpmate, right. He's his inspiration. She's a lot of times, if you're handling and managing your man the right way, you could be the catalyst in which he improves on his manhood, depending on how you interact with him. I absolutely, am feeling that. Yes. And there was a complete violation of that marriage by both of them. And then I can point out where, you can break trust without cheating.
True.
The marriage isn't real. What do you mean it ain't real? So that means you can go out here and do whatever you want to do. You done already put it in my head by that simple statement that you came out and talking, and she just talking. She talking because she's coming from a hurt place, from an emotional place, and he up here filming her screaming and yelling and hollering. Now, I'm not the one to talk about screaming and yelling and hollering because I can do a lot of that my damn self. It's just the programming, and I'm still working on that, But I'm just saying, I tell any woman, I say, if you ever get me to the point where I start yelling at you, just get your ass up and walk out. just go. But I'm just saying, so there was that marriage was violated there. But I will put the onus on him because he seems to be the person with the resources, and you know how women are. Let's not pretend like any woman we dealing with, no matter how great she is, that she ain't got a mind on the damn resources. That's important to her. Resources are important to guys, but not to the level it is for the women. Guys, for the most part, are okay. We like to build our life where we're okay and comfortable. Once we're okay and comfortable, we can get more or not get more. We're comfortable. We're very simple like that. That ain't women, True. And so for me, the reason I'm so glad you picked this as a topic, and I said to someone, I said, this requires a discussion, not just a single, stream on it, because there's so many things here. that need to be addressed. One, if you're the guy, you're going to ask a woman to marry you. Understand, not only you got to plan the wedding, but then you got to plan the finances. You got to have that financial talk with her. You got to talk, not only you got to talk about, the whatever beneficiary, but how you guys are going to govern the resources of the house. I got women who tell me they will never deal with me because of my philosophy on the money. And I tell them, then you're not for me. That's okay. Because my philosophy, and it's just my philosophy, when we become one, you don't have an income. The marriage has an income. And we're the stewards of that income. So I don't want to hear about your money. This is our money. It don't matter if I'm making the 250 and you making 38K, or it's reversed. That's how we roll. We don't roll with this whole now you might get I had a lady who lost her mind because I told her, I said, yeah, we sit down, we combine, we do this is how I feel, and then we get an allowance. She goes, allowances? I ain't gonna have nobody give me an allowance and say, you with me, you will. I get an allowance. I'm by myself when I get an allowance. I give myself an allowance. And then let me tell you something. If I blow through my allowance, I sit there like a little kid, like, well, I guess I gotta wait till it's allowance time again. But that requires discipline.
I'm laughing only because this is my life. I'm laughing because this is my life. We have a one pot system. So all the money goes in one pot. So what happens is I'm not good with money, but my king is good with money, but I'm not. So what happens is he gives me a little something to my Cash App. And then he says, you govern this for yourself. And then whatever needs to be in the house that needs to be paid, he say, you pay it from our main account. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm not good with money. If you give me money and I have to pay something, I'm going to pay everything outside of that something you told me, because I got to get everything else I wanted outside of it. So that's why he tell me you pay all the main bills to the main account, because he can see it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how we do. So I'm laughing only because that's my husband's program.
Yeah. And yeah. I tell ladies, I'm not, and some of these sisters take heed when I'm having these conversations with them. They want to go back and forth. I said, why are you arguing with me? I'm not going to be your man. You already done told me. So what you getting mad at me? Why are you getting mad at me? Oh, you were controlling it. And I go, oh, I love it when they tell me I'm controlling. You know what I do? You know what I say, take heed?
Tell me.
I go, and?
You said I go in.
I like to control the things that I'm responsible for. What are you talking about?
All right, man.
So what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to somebody last night. I said, believe it or not, I said, I know it seems harsh the way I talk. I said, but baby, there's a lot of freedom over here because I take on all the responsibility. You're free. That's freedom. You ain't got to worry about this, worry about that. What? And back to the money thing. I was telling the lady, because she was like, well, how do you determine who needs what? I said, that's a conversation, baby. What do you mean? I'm not just going to, I said, if all I need is $700 a month for my allowance and you need $1,300 a month for your allowance, that's just the way it is. Now, if you go outside of your allowance, we need to talk. Because now I need to see what you're doing. Because now we just sat down and we didn't came up with a plan. We didn't looked at a year's worth of how we spend our money on reckless stuff, and we determined outside of that what our each of our monthly budget allowances are going to be for the month. And now you telling me you need an adjustment to that? Why do you need an adjustment to that, or do you need adjustment to what you're doing out there? And that's too much. I say, well, I'm sorry, baby. I want us to be. I want the funeral home to come get us from inside the house. And the only way that can happen is if we manage the resources appropriately. I love my woman. I'm in a situation, fortunately enough, I can absorb I would prefer my lady to work. And I would prefer her money to go into, when we can be gallivanting around the world. You know what I mean? But that's the managing of our resources, because our resources takes care of our home, takes care of our respective allowances. But I work. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Take heed. I worked 108 hours in 1 week.
Ooh. Sounds just like my husband. I
got to do it.
God. That's why when he come home, I will just tell him, you ready for me to rub you down? And he's like, yeah, rub me down. So I just, it was one of those. And I've been married to my husband going on 16 years, and I still rub him down because I know how hard he works. I know the things he go through when he breaking his back and his feet and his arms. It's a lot on a man. And I think as women, we got to show some grace to our kings, but we don't. At times we get indignant. But, I'm a different type of woman because my husband, and I'm going to say something Monique said, my husband raised me. A lot of women going to be offended by what I said, but my husband raised me.
I don't want nobody coming tracking you down because you saying that. My sexy and strong, she goes, it's wild to me. People act like discussions can't be had to make an arrangement that works for both. Right. That's all I'm saying. Mm-hmm. See, maybe I don't have the right vocabulary to say what they need to be saying, because this is what I'm saying. These people are used to, are not used to healthy relationships. They're only used to chaos and hell. Mm. Well, damn.
They get it from their mama. That's that song. I get it from my mama.
Yeah. And one of the things I like to tell people, what I like to say to people when they keep telling me about, when they want to argue me down about what they're doing in their philosophy, especially the ladies, what I like to ask them, take heed, is, okay, fine. How's that working for you?
I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day, I get it in. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day, I get it in. I'm a king and I will never knew. Plotting for my fall, you getting head for trees.